Hello and welcome to another episode of Webflow & Co, where I teach you the underlying code you're writing in Webflow. Now this is going to be the second episode in our Three.js. I'm not going to call it a series for now. My goal is just to kind of show you, introduce you to Three.js and how to get it specifically inside of Webflow. So with that, we're going to take it a little bit further today and we're going to actually start interacting with our Three.js scene from outside of Three.js and give you an idea of really what I explained in the last episode, which was that we're kind of creating a bit of an illusion that the website itself is built inside of Three.js. So let's just dive right into it. So just to remind us of what we have going on, we have this basic scene where we've built the foundations of every single Three.js project, which includes a scene, a camera, some geometry or parts of your scene and a renderer. And then we've got our kind of animate function here. And we've stuck a little box in there and we've started to rotate it, baby. Spin me round. The spinning is a bit boring or whatever, and we can get rid of that. What I'm going to do is show you how we can start to build an actual page out and then have it look like it's part of our Three.js scenes. Let's pop into Webflow and let's start building out our page. Imagine this to be our kind of basic page here. Oh, can I just do that? I've made all of them 100% height so we can scroll through, and this is our page. So the next thing we need to do is make sure our WebGL canvas element is kind of floating or is fixed behind our content. So if we do this by this, WebGL, so I've just positioned it fixed and spread it across the screen. If we save this, perfect. So if we scroll down, then you'll see that kind of fixed background there. Now it's the glorious task of creating the illusion, just make that white, creating the illusion that we're interacting with our 3D elements in the background. So what I'm going to do, so I've recreated what we have going on in our Webflow document so I can have a good idea of what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position our box just slightly down. So what the aim is here is that it's going to look like we're scrolling past that box. Just a basic example, and that should give us what we need. So our position Y, I'm going to make that 2.5. Give that a refresh. So you can see our box is kind of slightly down a little bit. And now we need to kind of track our positions. And this is combining the real world, the website world, into our Three.js world. And that's really simple. So first thing we're going to do is bind a scroll event to the window. And we're going to find this function on each scroll event. And I'm just going to get the scroll position. We're going to set that to the camera.position.y. So it's got a default position. And I'm just going to set that to the scroll position of the page. So you can still see nothing's going on. Console log scroll position. And you can see that we're scrolling down the page here. It's going not a number, so what I need to do then, make sure that it's at least 0. There we go. The next thing I'm going to do is actually animate the camera position so that as I scroll down the page, the camera is moving down that page. Camera position Y equals scroll position. Let's just have a look at that, and this is going to mess up because you can see that it kind of goes way too fast and is actually going the opposite direction. So the first thing we want to do is reverse our position. So we're starting to get somewhere there, but it's going too fast. So we need to times this by 0.005. Now, this is going to be specific to the project, the Three.js project, and the size of your web page as well. So you want to kind of play around with this number here to make sure it fits kind of your scene. And what you'll see, as we scroll down the page, it looks like we're interacting with our Three.js project. And that's exactly what we want. I want to introduce you to a product that I've built with a good friend of mine. Heck, it's my channel, and I'll sponsor it with my own products if I want. Journey for Clarity prompts you every day to answer 3 simple questions. What excited you today? What drains you? And what are you grateful for? And after 4 weeks, you're asked to reflect on your time and think about themes and trends that keep reoccurring and whether you feel good about them or bad about them. This encourages you to adapt your life and focus on what matters. And right now, we're actually crowdfunding in order to raise funds to build some exciting new features that we have planned for the product. So if you head down in the description below, there'll be more information on how to sign up. Thank you for supporting Journaling for Clarity, and thank Journaling for Clarity for sponsoring the channel. Oftentimes, a little reflection can go a long way. Let's take this a little bit step further to again just drive the idea home that all we're doing is taking JavaScript, plain regular JavaScript, and applying it to values inside of Three.js. So what I'm going to do is every time we hover over one of these titles here, well actually first of all let's get this into Webflow. Ensure there's everything there. Publish. Here we go. Perfect. Let's grab each of our H2s. We've grabbed all of our H2s and we've made that into an array. I know it kind of works, just loop through a DOM elements, but I just want to be double sure and make this into an array. And with each of those, each of the titles, we're going to add event listener, and we're just going to do a mouse over, and we want to do a mouse leave. And when we mouse over, we're going to set a flag on is hovering equal true, is hovering, and we're going to set that to false. Now we haven't got it is hovering yet, so is, we just create that and we'll make it false. So we've got a basic hovering mechanism here that if we're hovering over a title, then we set this to true, else we set it to false. And then once again in our animate function, all we're going to do is go box.material, because it's the material that has the color value. And we're going to say if is hovering, then we want to do a new 3.color. Let's set it to blue, and then else we'll set the color back to red. For every title, if we're hovering over one of them, when we're setting value to true. When it's leaving it, we're going to set it to false. If it's true, this is what this ternary statement is. If it's true, I think of it like if I'm asking the question, is it hovering? Is this thing true? Then it's that. Otherwise, set it to red. We go here. Oh, something's going on there. I think I can see that it's blue, but it's super dark for some bizarre reason. Let's make it into green. There you go. So we go in here, boom, boom, boom. Before I wrap up, let's do one final thing, and that is have the square face the mouse position of the window. So once again, we want to go window, add event listener, mouse move, and we want to store the mouse position inside of a variable. So once again, we're going to go mouse equals x, y. So we've just got an object of x and y, setting the default values as 0. And we want to, on the mouse move, we want to go mouse.x. We want to set that to e.client.x. Now, the problem with this is that over here it's going to be 0, and over here it's going to be whatever the width of the window is. And we don't want that. We want a normalized value between minus 0.5 and positive 0.5. So what we're going to do is divide that by window.inner width. And the same with the mouse.y. We're going to go y and then divide that by inner height minus 0.5 on that. The left-hand value is the x value, so it's 0.5 over here, and then a minus 0.5 over here, and then 0.5 over on the right-hand side. Same with top and bottom. So we've got our values, and once again, we're going to bring in GSAP. So if we go GSAP docs, here we go, script. So we've got GSAP, the latest version of GSAP. What we're going to do, we're going to go GSAP.to, so we're going to animate a property. What property we're going to animate? We're going to animate the camera dot position, and we're going to animate the x and y values to mouse.x and mouse.y. We're going to write the box.rotation. Sorry, that I don't know why I was thinking that. So now our box is, so it looks like the x is affecting the y and the y is affecting the x. So let's understand what's going on there. Editing Sam here. So what's happening is you've got to imagine if a cube has two sticks running through it. So a stick that's going through it horizontally and it's rotating around the x-axis, that's why it's going kind of vertically. And if there's a stick going through the vertical axis, then it's rotating around that axis and it's going side to side. Just figure that out. So now we have our box that's kind of rotating based on our mouse position. It's kind of always looking at our mouse. And again, these numbers probably could be played with, so we can halve it and make it a little bit more smooth. But you can see that once again we're using JavaScript functions to manipulate our Three.js elements. Obviously the final thing to do right now then is to move all of this code into our old friend Webflow. And then we of course want GSAP in our script here, publish, and here we have our moving box scrolling with our page. So I hope you enjoyed this short little tutorial. If you want more of these, or if you have certain questions about certain things, I'll do my best to answer them. And if you want me to kind of go over something, then do actually let me know. Join my Discord, like, subscribe, and until next time, happy no coding.